Hey, this is Sasha. Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Stocks, episode number 202. And in this episode, we're going to take a look at how to read a stock chart for beginners. So if you don't know how to read a stock chart, this is what this video is going to show you. It's how to read a stock chart and the basics of it. So let's take a look at some of these charts. So here on screen, we have a line chart. Now, this chart right here is a chart of Apple. And the way that charts are really constructed in the market is what we have is the price usually on the right, and sometimes it'll actually be on the left side as well. So price is actually on the right or left axes, and then you have the time axis that's on the bottom. So this chart is a longer dated chart from 2010 all the way to about mid-2018. And if you take a look at the current price, you basically line up today's date with the price, and that'll give you about 218.28 for the Apple chart. Now, if you want to go back in time and see, well, what was the price at the beginning of 2016? Well, you take a look, go straight up to 2016, draw that line across, and you can see price was right around about $100 per share. Now, there are different types of charts out there in the stock market. You can look at data in all sorts of different ways. So if you take a look at some of these other charts, here we have an area chart, which is very similar to what you saw before. It's just that things underneath are filled in. You can also look at things with here's a candlestick chart. Now, this is the typical chart that is used in the market, or what most traders and investors look at, and that is because it gives you more data or signals. And what it really does is it tells you in every single one of these bars, the high, the low, and the open and close, basically the way that it wiggled around throughout that time period. So this is actually, if we look at this, it is a monthly candle. So every single one of these is a month. So it tells you the lows, the highs, and where it opened and closed within that month or time period. That way you're not just getting a dot of where the price closed at the end of the month. Instead, you get to see the magnitude or the movement of wiggle room also within that month. And that's what it really represents. If you look at this bar chart example, or the open, high, low, close chart example, this does the same thing. I find this is a little bit easier for people to digest when they're just getting started, because if you take a look at kind of this bar here, you can see, okay, we opened here, we got down to a certain price level, we got up to a certain price level, and then we closed over here. So it's kind of an input-output kind of model of where you start the movement, the wiggle amount, and then where it exited. So that's really what the chart kind of looks like. Well, let's take a look at the candlestick again. So here I want to share with you an example. This one is McDonald's, also a monthly time period. And you can see here we've digested from 2012 to about 2015, 2016, moving sideways, and then price took off. So you can see there we went from about $100 per share, moved a little bit higher, and then pulled back a little bit in 2017, and then again continued to power higher into higher prices as we got into 2017 and 2018. It's just moving a little bit more sideways, or digesting the move again. So that's kind of how you're looking at charts and reading charts. So you can see periods of digestion, periods of acceleration or movements higher, and it allows you to really just spot the price differences across multiple time frames. Looking at this time frame, and Tesla, here we have 2012 to 2013. You can see a digestion period. At that time point, the price was right around $30, $40 per share. After 2013, we started to get a ramp up in prices. Price got into these highs around September, October, and we were at about $180, $190 per share. We then had a little bit of a pullback right before we got into 2014. We pulled back to about $115, $120 per share. And then again, the price bounced, and we got into higher prices of about $250 per share. Now, as you look at some of these swing points, which are basically where prices change directions, you can see we're creating kind of a support level or support line. So in May of 2014, we've hit that support level of about 175. We've done it also in 2015, right before May. We've broken beyond that support level early 2016, but then managed to get back above it. And then right around late 2016, maybe December time, we've hit it again to hold that support level. So you can see how stock charts are really handy to see, hey, where is that supporting price level? And you can also see some resistance levels as well. Where is the stock struggling a little bit at higher prices? And here with Tesla, you can see, again, around September time of 2014, we're hitting higher prices of about 275, where the stock struggled again in 2015, about May-June timeframe, and then also early 2017 as well. So it gives you an indication here of how to really look at the chart and read the chart. In simple terms, you got price on one of the sides, usually the left or right axes there, and then you have time on the bottom side. And then combining these together, it allows you to match up the time with the price, and that'll give you an indication of what the price was at a certain time period. And if you're looking at bars or candlesticks like this, it allows you to see how much wiggle room was there for that time period. For example, a month, or you could do this also on a day basis. So here, if we're looking at Amazon on this chart, you can see right now we're on the monthly time frame, but I could change it to a weekly. So now you're seeing each bar is a week, or on the day, how much wiggle room was happening in the day time period. So anyways, I hope this was helpful and insightful for you if you're just learning the basics about reading stock charts, to give you some insight on looking at them and evaluating them. Of course, there's many more things to learn about stock charts, such as what's underneath the chart. So if we look here, actually, give you a quick little insight. And looking at this lower level, this here is the volume. Okay, so that is the amount of shares traded. So think about it, stepping on the gas pedal, how much fuel is there, right? So that's really what that tells you. And you can add more indicators like little lines here that you might see. These are the average of that line. Same thing on the charts themselves. You could put an average moving line from a 20-day, 50-day, and you can manipulate those and adjust those to your liking. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me. If you want to subscribe to our newsletter, click the button over here. Get on the newsletter by entering your name and email address. That way you get other free training when it's released, and those notifications, along with discounts on our products, services, and coaching. Otherwise, if you want to just continue joining us on YouTube, hit the subscribe button right here, and you get notified as we release new videos on YouTube. Thanks again, and remember, do what you love, contribute to other people, but most importantly, live life abundantly. I'll see you in the next video.